Hey folks, SEP 101. Matt here. I'm going to show you guys how to build a circuit with a potentiometer. A potentiometer, or a pot, is kind of like a dimmer switch. So here I am in Tinkercad. I'm in circuits. I'm going to go to create new circuit. And make sure to hit circuits over here. Once I hit create new circuit, I'm going to get my basics out, which is a breadboard, a battery, coin cell, 3 volt. I'm going to search for an LED. I'm going to grab a resistor, and I'm going to grab this potentiometer. It's right here. If you can't see it, you can search for potentiometer and grab it. And that's all the components we need. So this, you can click and kind of turn the dial in simulation mode, and like this, it acts like a dimmer switch. You can change the resistance on it too. We might mess with that later, but all right, so let's look at how we can actually do this. Let's get our coin cell battery and our positive going to the positive rail, our negative going to the negative rail. I'm going to place our light here. Let's flip this resistor around by selecting it and pressing the R key. I'm going to use 40 ohms, change kilo ohms to ohms. That seems to be a good resistor value. I'm going to place the potentiometer here. I'm going to plug it in to the board, maybe right here. Doesn't have to be exactly right there, but I'm not going to plug it into the rails. I'm going to plug it in down here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're getting, let's run our circuit. We'll start from the negative. Negative is going here and traveling down this rail. So let's jump it down to here. So now the negative from the battery is in this row. I'm going to jump it over to here, so give it some space. I'm going to place the resistor in that row. So now the resistor is getting the negative. I'm going to jump the resistor back down, and now I'm going to jump this row where the resistor is over to this row where the first pin, terminal 2, the first pin of the potentiometer is. So now we've gone from negative, traveling here, down here, over, up, through the resistor, down, over, up, into the potentiometer. Next thing we're going to do, the positive, the anode of the LED, which we can just place right here, anywhere down there, is going to connect to this middle, what we call the wiper, right? That's the pin that gets the change in resistance. It's actually a resistor in here, but it's a variable resistor. So we're using a resistor here just because when we place this to the maximum, we still want this resistor protecting the light. But this is actually its own resistor, which will dial down resistance in addition to this one and essentially dim our light. So now we're going to move from this wiper row. All of these pins are connected to this middle piece. So any one we want, we can just jump it over to the same row as the anode of the LED. Then we connect the cathode of the LED. We can connect it right up here to negative. Look, I made a mistake. Wow. Because if I go to negative here, we started at negative. I messed you guys up. That's easy to fix though. This first jump down here where we went from negative down, let's make that positive. Let's delete that and let's bring the positive rail down to here. My bad. Okay, so we've got positive going down here, up through the resistor, down into the potentiometer. We have the wiper going to positive. Then we've got the cathode going to negative. That looks good. There's only one more thing to do. The third leg, this terminal 1 of the potentiometer, we're also going to ground that one. And what do I mean by that? Grounding means we're going to attach it to the negative rail of the battery. So anywhere in this row, I would pick a little closer to the top, maybe right here or here. I'm going to bring this over up to the negative rail. So it's a little tricky because it's not just a straight up circular circuit. We're going positive through this rail, down, over, up through the resistor, down, over, up through the potentiometer, and then we have two outputs on the potentiometer. We've got the wiper going to the anode of the LED, which connects to negative, and then we've got this extra ground here. Let's test it out. If I hit run, not seeing much here, but now if I click on my potentiometer and I start to dial it up, you can see the light starting to turn on. It's getting brighter, and finally it's full brightness. So now I can dim it or brighten it up using the potentiometer. So it's different from a switch in that it varies its resistance to change the brightness or darkness of the light. All right, that's it. See you next time.